Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Building a Leadership Mindset podcast. This is a very special week as we are celebrating our top 100 interviews and going back to our last 50 past guests that have came on and shared their story, their talents, their gifts. This is brought to you by BALM Global and the Connected Leaders Academy. I am super excited to bring our guests back just to highlight them, give them a public thank you for joining the BALM family, and just again giving hope to our audience, to our community, just really sharing what they're doing in their space, in their genius, and how you can get a hold of them. And I just thought that it would be great to do our second annual celebration of that, because these are milestones that we hit that sometimes we take a little for granted and we don't really know the impact that we're actually having. So BALM Global is always about just showcasing the best of the best who have changed my life or inspired me in some way, shape, or form, or has inspired my business to grow as big as it has so far. Though we never arrive, there's always something more and great to do. I just want to bring, again, some very special guests. And the first guest I'm going to have up today is going to be all the way from New York. We actually recently just met. We joined an amazing project with the new book, as you guys have seen us post just all week long. Last week, we actually had the Jumbotron experience. So my very special guest is Bridget Kearns, and she is a co-author, so a mom, a coach, a podcaster, a little bit of everything. And I am so happy to be in community with you. And how are you today?
I'm doing so wonderful. Thank you for having me again. It's great to see you.
It's definitely great to see you too. And I know before we started, you said you just came back from vacation. How was that?
That was so nice. It was like actually my first official adult vacation. So I just hopped on a plane by myself and took off to North Carolina for a long weekend and got to see a dear friend and launched a fun project while we're there.
So cool. Can't wait to hear more about that project and what you have going on up your sleeve. But that's what we do here in entrepreneurship world, right? Our ideas just come to us and things just happen. Share a little bit about your experience and how was it when you came on the show, onto Building a Leadership Mindset?
It was so empowering. I was a little bit terrified, if I'm being honest, about being on a live show, but it was so wonderful. It was just, you're just so warm and easy to talk to. And I really, really enjoyed it. And it's also such a great opportunity to really hone and craft the message of who I am and what I'm bringing to the world. So I appreciate that opportunity.
Absolutely. So we just again ventured into a project together. Was this your first
Yeah.
time writing?
Yes. So it's funny because I have a journalism and an English background, and I've taught for a decade, but I never put any of my writing out into the world as a published author. So it was about time. Yeah, and it felt really great. What an incredible project to be part of.
That's awesome. And how was that transition? And what does it look like looking forward? Is there anything coming down the pipe? Like, what are you really working on?
Yeah, it's so funny. It feels like that experience pulled the plug for me. It was like, oh my gosh, how simple really was it to actually do this? I had it built up in my mind as this gigantic mountain that I was going to have to scale at some point. But I mean, Desiree invited us to take that mountain and make it a pebble and just flick it away. She's like, this is so simple. You write your chapter. When she told us the time frame, I'm like, there's no way that we're getting an entire book written and published and in our hands within a couple months. Are you kidding me? Like, oh my gosh, how wonderful. So yeah, that really showed me, just stop and realize that that seed of a thought that is sparking in your brain right now, whatever it is, you know what it is, you
Yes.
know what's there. That seed can become a full blown forest within a couple months if you just know, it's about the connections. If you know the right people, if you're having the right conversations, if you're asking the right questions. And it's not about, you notice I didn't say having all the right answers, because that's not what it's about. It's about asking the right questions and being bold and brave and just going for it, like audaciously.
That's just as simple as it can get, right?
Yeah.
You just go for it. You have that idea, you have that opportunity that's presented to you, which I'm sure there's many opportunities out there. There's so many anthologies coming out now. I mean, I'm working on another one as well, partnering with someone else. A few things happening in Ladies of Leadership when it comes to self-publishing and really getting your stories out there, that once you do it, you just want to do more of it. There's just so much we have to say, so much we have to do. So I am just super excited to have been a part of this journey with you, and, to gain another sister that I can, share life with, thoughts, and just some great things that we're going to put together in the future. So I'm super excited about that. And how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, you'll want to find me on Instagram. That's one of the best ways to really see who I am and what I'm all about. And it's just at Bridget Querns. And my name is BridgetQuerns. So simple as that. Come over, give me a follow, send me a message. I really do love to interact with people. So get in touch, reach out.
Absolutely. Well, I definitely want you to stay until the end. I'm just going to put you back in the green room. We're going to bring a couple guests on, and then I'll bring
That's
you all
great.
back and we'll have some live questions together. Thank you so much. Okay. So we have some other amazing people just sitting and waiting patiently to just be um, to just have a great conversation about how we connected. And we are going to go to New Jersey, and we are going to get my good friend, the recovering what?
Recovering lawyer.
Hey, how are you, Josh? How are you
It
doing
is
today?
so great to see you. I am doing fantastic.
Well, it's absolutely great to see you. And I can't believe that you're actually one of the very first people that I met in this journey back May 14th at a Emilio and Daniela event. They're famous for those, the Ama family. And we were at a speaker competition / media training when I first heard you speak. And we have since then connected through other communities and spaces and shared stages together. So that's awesome.
And it is so exciting to see how much BALM Global has grown in that time, how it went from an idea to something that is impacting so many people at such a deep level, helping folks to share their story, to get the word out about who they are and what they do, but really connecting leaders who are stepping into their power and helping them to grow into better versions of who they are. It's amazing how our missions are so aligned, and it's a privilege to be a part of anything that you do.
Oh, thank you so much. And Bomb Global wasn't even a thought at that time. It was just a podcast that sat since 2020 called Building a Leadership Mindset. Then someone asked me what my story is in 2022, and then it just all blew up from there. I didn't realize that 2 years before I actually manifest what was about to happen. And I know we have a lot of masterminds together that we talk about manifestation, that we talk about really putting our thoughts into those things. And I definitely want you to share what you do, but how has that helped you create who you are today?
So, what I do is I help teens and 20 somethings transform their lives. So, my clients are parents whose kids want to become more powerful learners and leaders. I do that through SAT coaching, through college admissions coaching, through leadership coaching. I have a group called the Empowered Leadership Circle. I do it through what I call path, purpose, and passion coaching, where whether it's a teenager trying to figure out what he wants to do or she wants to do after high school that may or may not include college, or whether it's a 20-something who's been to college but isn't sure if they're on the right path. It's helping them dig deeper into the questions behind what career or what major. It's asking, what is the role you want your work to play in your life? How important is it to you that you're moving the needle to a better world, or do you just want to make a paycheck clock out at the end of the day and being able to afford your hobbies and your lifestyle. There's no right or wrong answers to that, but it's helping people make intentional choices about the role that work plays in their life and using that to help them understand their personality, to help them make choices as to what careers or types of careers are going to give them the kind of joy, the kind of peace, the kind of excitement, the kind of adventure, and the kind of impact that they're looking to have in this world. And it's really helping folks step into their power. In terms of manifestation, one of the things that I've learned in these different shared communities is that manifestation isn't what people think it is. It's not if you dream it, if you want it, if you say the affirmations enough times, it automatically happens. That's not how it works. That's the first step, which raises your awareness and your intention. But then you got to follow it up with action. And that action and taking the right action at the right time with the right support in the right communities, that's what turns a dream into destiny.
And that's awesome. And you are sharing that with your clients, with your students, with those that may not have a clear vision of what they want to do. And since I've learned from the very beginning what you've done, I've always been intrigued of how you go about that. So when we're in masterminds together and these questions are thrown at us, there's always just the simplest form of the way you share your perspective where people's like, I've never thought of it that way. That is like your key signature. I look for that all the time. And I'm just so happy to be in community with you. And this is a public thank you for, again, joining the BALM family and being on the show. How was your experience and being able to share, a little bit about what you told us now and much more, because you dropped some gems on that podcast.
It was wonderful because it was talking to a friend. I almost forgot that the camera was there, that it was being recorded. I was just having a conversation with one of my favorite people in the universe that I've met on this journey, someone who I have tremendous respect and admiration for. And we were just sharing our perspectives on the important work that we do. And I think that a lot of times when people have an idea for a podcast or an interview, they get too up in their head and up in their feelings about it and making it perfect and all of that, when in reality, it's just let go and let flow. Life is fun when you do it right. And that's true of interviews and podcasts as well as life and work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually have a guest in the green room that we're going to talk about how podcasting is not supposed to be perfect and it's supposed to be exactly what it is, authentic as possible. And we don't script here at BALM Global. We actually just go off the cuff. It's true, authentic stories about our lives, what we've been through, and how we help impact the world. So I just love that. How can people get a hold of you?
So I am pretty much everywhere on social media. You can find me on Facebook or TikTok as Josh Aronovich. You can find me on Instagram as Josh the SAT guy. And if you just Google my name or Google Aronovich Coaching Experience, you'll find the website, which is joshiscoaching.com. Or just reach out to Nikki. She has my digits. She has my information. And I'm sure she'd be glad to put anyone in touch with me. So anyone who has a teen or 20-something that wants to become a better, more powerful version of who they are, let's talk and see how I can help.
Awesome. There you have it. As simple as that. Just connect with me. I'll definitely make that connection for sure, Josh. And I still have to connect you with my son. He just graduated. Hooray. He said he wants to take about a month off. But he is starting his journey and his business, and we are laying out some details. And we had a couple invitations for co-authorships together, which was really crazy. But again, this only happens if you go to these events, if you get in rooms with people that are ready, that have the goods that you're looking for, so that we all get there together, right? Well, thank you so much, Josh. I'm going to put you back in the green room.
Real quick before you do.
Yes.
On that topic of co-authorships and being in the right room, going to the events, I went to an event in Sedona, Arizona last November called Heart Path with Mindy Kness. And out of that, a project was born called Collective Heart, which was a book with 21 chapters of people's stories about this invisible thread that connects us all when we live heart-centered lives. And that book launched actually today. So if anyone is interested, look me up on Facebook or just go to Amazon and look up Collective Heart. It's only 99 cents on Kindle today. And it's really a powerful, powerful read. Reminds us
Well,
there's so much.
I am definitely going to get that. And I actually see that in our Empowered Journey group. And I have been actually, this is about my 7th call today, including other podcasts. So I'll definitely get to that. Thank you so much. You have it. If you can drop it into, once this airs, I'll share it with you, tag you, also drop the link there too so people can support. Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you. And we are going to keep this show going. We have a wonderful lady that I met back in December at a BLM Live event. And she was just on my podcast as well, very recent. And this is, I just said that I met Bridget in February, Josh last May, and Kelly Buckley, who is coming up right now. And we met each other in December, but the connection has been like a lifetime. So I just want to welcome you, Kelly, for joining the BALM family and coming back so we can highlight you and thank you for your awesomeness that you're doing with the ladies. Tell us about that.
Thank you, Nikki. Oh my gosh, I just got to hear Josh. So Josh is actually he is going to be, I guess, one of my resort mates in Florida at an event we're going to. And I actually am just getting to know him. So I'm so excited because I loved what he's sharing, because it sort of links to what I do with women's transformation. And I thought, oh, so he's wanting to catch them in their teens and 20s. So for the woman who says, I wish I would have met that guy when I was in my teens or 20s, I'm working with women who are in their 40s, who are waking up in the morning saying, ugh, this is what I have to do today. And then helping them with that transformation to what happened that led you to this point in life that you're saying, ick, I don't want to be here. What was spoken into them that they feel like this isn't the life I wanted, and helping them with their mindset, their self-care transformation, and their time management transformation to help them with what's their next step? What are their action steps? And I also am just loving watching you evolve and grow. And yes, we had an instant connection. And congratulations to your son. How fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, we actually, on our podcast, we actually revealed to each other that we actually had more in common than we knew. And one of them was being that, I've always wanted to go to cosmetology school and study about beauty and hair and stuff like that. Never went, all the way, but you did. And then you had a transformation and I'll let you tell it, like, how did that transformation look? Because there's a lot of people in our audience that think that they have to stay in one industry because that's what they told the world, right? And you're a perfect example of it's okay to make that transition. And in life, you're going to evolve and you're going to have those evolutions, and it might change more than once. So just tell us a quick bit about your story and how you were able to transform from what you did to what you do now, and what was the best part of it?
So I have been in the beauty industry for over 30 years, and I have realized, yes, I do have a passion for helping women look good and feel good about themselves. But it has moved in different capacities to being a salon owner, to being in network marketing, working with women with skincare and cosmetics. And there have been points that I thought, oh, I don't want to go into the salon every single day anymore. Okay, how can I make this work from an at-home business? And I want to let women know it's okay to look at what you're doing and say, I don't want to do this anymore. This doesn't resonate anymore. Whether it's what you created or what someone spoke into you, it's okay to reevaluate, start to investigate what are some things that really do bring you joy and you would like to step into. And then, my last pivot well, it's probably not my last. It's definitely not my last. Was to creating Beautifully Confident in 2022, which has evolved into podcast, TV show, and coaching program. And it's just through talking to women and hearing so many women's stories of staying stuck because they think that's where they're trapped. And we're not trapped anywhere.
Yeah. I 100% agree. And it bring me actually knowing that this segment was coming up and that we were going to have a chat. Actually, on Sunday, I think I came up with like a 3-step. I don't know if I'm going to do it in a live, in a webinar, but it's really talking about reassess, readjust, and reset. And it's usually during this halfway point. We've almost hit, the second half of the year, the third quarter, after halftime. What do we do now? So again, those moments have to happen multiple times in your business, in your life, in your finances and things like that, where you have to reassess, readjust, and reset. And it's okay to make those pivots. And what was the most gratifying part of making that pivot that you can tell us today has been the most beneficial of making that change?
I think impacting more women. So with my previous businesses, I was a little more in my community, definitely in my salon. I was in my community. Then I got to branch out a little further with network marketing. And then to branch out even further with the coaching and Beautifully Confident is that's global, which is what I wanted. Our Beautifully Confident podcast keeps moving up in the ranks, and we're ranked in the 0.04% for all podcasts in the world. So I was pretty happy that people are relating to the stories and what we have going on. But it's making that impact globally.
Well, congratulations on that. That's, and that just recently started. So it's never too late in your life to start anything, right? And even a podcast. I think every business owner should have some form of podcasting, some form of getting your message out there, so you gain that credibility, you start gaining traction, momentum, that stuff that you're looking for, right? You're always wondering, well, why is my business not moving to the next level? Adding these little things to your business and creating a name for yourself definitely works. And I think you're doing an amazing job adding, that on. It's been awesome. I can't wait to continue to watch episodes and see what we can do together as well. As a coach, there's so many different areas that we can coach on. We can coach all the way from confidence to addiction, relationships, just every avenue. The spectrum is just so long. So I just want to thank you. How can people get a hold of you?
You can find me on all social medias, just my name, Kelly Buckley. And then I do have a private group for Beautifully Confident. And then my website is beautifullyconfidentpodcast.com. And there's buttons on there to connect with me, have a chat. And if, something is resonating with someone that they feel like, oh, I say that every morning, ick, I would love to chat with people. And Nikki, I do want to share, I find through meeting my guests, I find so many people like yourself that we have so many complementing coaching, that we can help people all along the way, that I can be talking to someone and say, you know what, I feel like you need to take this one step further. Nikki can probably help with this, or Josh can help with your child. So I love getting to know other people's businesses and how we can help each other.
Exactly. That is exactly why I do what I do. And I bring people on from every industry in my communities. This is just my give back. It's a passion. I look forward to it. I actually go back and watch some of these podcasts as well, because, I can't take notes while I'm, interviewing, and there's just so much said. So if you ever want to check out any of our podcasts, any of our guests, trust me, they're just going to add value to your life so much more than what you expected. And you can just go to www.buildingaleadershipmindset.com. Go under the podcast section, and you can either watch it on YouTube or listen to it on Spotify. It's there. It's available. It's actually a one-stop shop. So everything BALM Global you will see on that website and everything we have going on. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. I'm going to put you back in the green room. We have one more guest waiting to chat with us, and I'm going to bring you guys all back on, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks so much, Kelly. So our next guest is also from the BLM community. Met him, I probably think the beginning of this year. He's doing amazing things. And we had a podcast together, and it was far from perfect, but it was perfect. So let's bring on my good friend, Michael Fritz. How are you?
Doing well, my dear. How you doing?
Good. I thought you were going to be in your usual podcasting location. Now I have you. I seen you earlier today, and I said,
Yeah,
"Oh wait, where's the van?"
yeah. It's at home. It's hot outside. This is not the time of year to be doing podcasts in my truck, but yeah, I'm camped out at a Panera here. It's nice. There's some background music. Hopefully you can't hear it, but we'll get it out in post production.
Yes. No, we're not taking anything out. You know, it's all raw here. It's the hot call. It's the honest, open, and transparent call. And, we met in the BLN. We had a couple of virtual coffees. There's some things that are in the works for the future for us. We won't talk about it now, but haven't forgot about you, my friends. Super excited about what's coming down the line, but just being able to be again in community with you. How has that been?
It's been amazing, and I guess I've heard it said so many times that it's finally sinking in. I have a bit of a thick skull, but when you surround yourself with the right people and you build a discipline around that, and you're like, okay, every day I need to make sure that I'm investing some time with my core group, you end up, and this is going to sound selfish, but I don't care. You end up feeling really, really good about yourself. And when you know you're building into other people's lives and you're able to bless them as well, it's like, yes, when you hit the pillow at night and you get ready to go to bed, it's like that was a good spend of energy. And
Yeah.
the community that you mentioned before is like that. There's like a high concentration of people that fit that criteria. You're one of them, of course, but I like being around people like that. It's just we just love on each other. It's awesome.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what you do and, what do you have going on now and what's next for you?
Sure thing. Well, I run a full service podcasting agency called Podcastify Me, and it is constantly evolving, constantly. Like I am always finding new ways to leverage that medium, not just to create a bunch of content, but to forge some awesome relationships. And what I've been telling people lately is I guess if you had to condense it down to something really quick and pithy, it would be relationships as a service. Yeah, we tend to use podcasts to bring that about, but I started I started using this, and I used it in that call today. I started using this tagline. I'm the Andy Warhol of podcasting. I'm trying that on. I'm like, yeah, I kind of like how it feels, but I really love taking that medium and just pushing it to its absolute limit. Like while I was in the green room, I was listening to what everybody else was saying, but I thought, I wonder if there's a way to like cartoonify a video like automatically, because how cool would it be to have a podcast where that's what the video looks like? You get people on
Wow.
and then you turn it into cartoon. Like, who's doing this? Like, I don't know, maybe nobody, but I love experimenting with stuff like that and like combining psychology and philosophy and automation and technology and relationship building in just this gabagoo that is so unique, but it's so me. I get to express myself in a huge way. So that's what I'm up to.
Well, that's awesome. That is awesome. And be from podcaster to podcaster, we had a great call while you were on the podcast, and we had something kind of happen during the podcast, right?
Yeah.
First and foremost, my lights went out. And let me tell you that Michael took over that podcast. I was freaking out. It lasted literally like 30 seconds. but I still had to reload everything. I had to just get right back on. So it took about a minute and a half. And when I came on, I said, Michael, we can edit this out. And what was your response?
I'm like, nah, leave it in. Just leave it in. I mean, life is crazy. Life is gross and squishy sometimes, but we left it in. Did you leave it in?
I did. I did leave
Good.
it in and I posted it just like that. I think I've done it. There was a few calls that, had either people walking in the background and stuff, but this is life. This is what we work through. This is what we live through. And it is okay to not have everything perfect. Sometimes we stress ourselves out too much about the things that, one, we can't control, and two, that really doesn't really change much of what our vision is. The fact is that we wanted to get on a podcast to highlight you and share what you do and how we connected and the power of these communities and the connection. And I think we delivered that with a little bit of humor, because I think you did just absolutely amazing. When I went to go watch it prior to uploading it, I'm like, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah. I've had people accuse me of being pretty good at like improv and stand-up comedy, and I'm like, today's the day. So, we figured it out. It's like we're not gonna just
Yeah,
stop just because the lights go out. Like I know how to talk to people. I can human.
yeah,
So she'll be back. That was fun though. That
yes.
that literally has never happened to me ever.
Me
That
neither.
was
Me
awesome.
neither. Yeah, it's just, and like I said, there's a few other ones. You just have to go back and watch them and just enjoy all of the gems that are just dropped throughout this community. We have an array of people just doing so many things. And I know podcasting is a huge thing that we're really zoning into. So tell us a little bit more about how people can connect with you. What are your benefits for having a podcast agency?
Oh, definitely. Well, easiest way to get in touch with me is email me, and if you've got some notes somewhere you can share this, but my best email is fritz@podcastify.me, and that's the name of the company. That's the website as well. So if you go to podcastify.me, you can find out more about what we're doing. But one of the biggest benefits of having an agency like ours go to bat for you, and I was just talking about this with someone earlier today, there are a lot of folks out there that are like, hey, if you're going to be successful with a podcast, you got to have huge listenership, and you got to have enough listeners that you get sponsorship. And it's like, well, that is a way to be successful, but that's a long tail thing. It takes a while to get there. It takes a while to get 10,000 downloads per episode. So then sponsors are like, I want to pay for those ear holes. It's like, you know, uh, but an easier way and a more short term way is, how do you build awesome relationships with people right here where you are? How do you forge the kind of relationships with your guests that lead to buying decisions later? And you can absolutely do that on a podcast. And so that's how we operate. We build shows from the ground up that are designed and tuned and engineered to do that very thing. And it's different. I mean, I call it the third wave of podcasting. It's like, how do you use this as a way to build relationships? Hardly anybody's treating it like that. You are, because I mean, we're
Wow.
building relationships, talking with each other, but the vast majority of people are still like, I gotta get a bunch of downloads before you can be successful. It's like, no, actually, you don't. There's a
Yeah.
new way. There's a better way. So that's how to reach me. That's what I do. That's who I serve, and how I do my voodoo that I do.
Well, I love your video that you do, because it's just absolutely amazing. And you're right. It's all about building relationship. It's about using your platform to really grow that
Mhm.
network that you're looking to grow, to get those those ears on your content, on and your visuals, obviously the vision of what your mission is, what you want to do, what message you want to send. And that's what BALM Global does. We're really about, again, bringing people in, highlighting them, what they do, building that resource list. So when, we're just having a casual conversation, amongst family and friends, and they're like, hey, well, I want to do this. I have a name for you right here. Here's the connection. There you go. And, we all win together. So I absolutely love it.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. That's super awesome. So I'm going to get the ladies back on here. And There we go. So how has it been so far? We'll go with you, Bridget. I know you've been listening to everyone else. Have you met anyone in that you've seen here today?
No, I haven't met any of them, but I want to meet them all now. I just
Absolutely.
love, Michael, I'm thinking, what kind of sorcery is this about being authentic and building relationships? That's what I'm all about. So you captured me there. Um, yeah, and Kelly, it's so great to see what you're doing, and I love just I love connecting with other coaches, and I love helping other coaches realize that it's not about, cornering your little area of the market. It's about knowing others and linking arms so that when we meet someone who we know someone else could serve better, we know exactly who to send them to. That's what I'm all about. It's all about how can you best serve that person and build a relationship. Nikki, like what you're doing, build a relationship, because you never know. Maybe someone will come to me and Kelly's a better fit for them. And I'll happily send them to Kelly, because in the future, when they remember what I did for them, they're going to go, oh, hey, I know my friend who would be a great fit with Bridget. I'm going to link them up because you did the right thing. So, oh man, I just love being in this room with you guys. You make my heart smile.
Yes, that is just totally exactly what this is how you maximize. We talk about like leveraging and maximizing and building relationships. And the crazy part about it is I said that same exact line that you said, Bridget, like about 20 times this week, even on these calls, on, any sales calls, or it's really all about knowing the people that you're connecting with good enough to say, hey, I have someone for you. And I
Yeah.
think you are going to just blow up. And we can't guarantee anything because the other person has to be receiving what we're giving them, right? So thank you so much for sharing that. Kelly, I know you never met Bridget, but have you met Michael before?
I have not. So I'm so happy to connect with both of you. And yes, I love hearing what everyone is putting out in the world and how you're serving others. And I would be excited to have us just flip right over to be cartoons. What a fun idea.
Yes. So when you figure out the magic, Michael, you let us know, okay? And we're all podcasters on here. How awesome is that? I think Josh is not a podcaster, but we have to get him on board.
Definitely. We need to bring him into the fold. Come on, be one of us. One of us.
Yes, that would be super awesome. And Michael, so talk to us. I know you talked, recently, but kind of tell us a little bit more about how you picture this dynamic right now, and what do you see for the future for yourself, continuing to do what you do and partner up with people like we have here.
It glitched out for a second. Was that for me?
Yes, that was for you.
Yeah. Well, every day, this is going to sound kind of woo-woo, but every day that I wake up, I'm not sure what the future is going to hold. So I kind of love the question, like, where do you see yourself 3 to 5 years from now? Bro, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I can't even picture what's going to be like a week from now, 2 weeks from now. Like, what? But what I do sort of foresee is it's almost like a general flavor. Like, I'm finding that when I'm building relationships with people, I'm doing it more at scale. Like, I have more group calls with people like this than I do with than I used to. I used to just do one-to-one, do coffee meetings, that kind of thing. And it's like, yo, I'm using podcasts to bring that about. Like, you've actually inspired me, Nikki. I was gonna spin up and do like a season 2 of the Third Wave with Fritz. And previously, I would have people on, one at a time, talk about their business, and kind of delve into a little bit about how podcasting would help them. But I would like to bring like groups of 2 or 3 people together and do a podcast episode like that, but also have it serve as like a mini networking group. So the people that are brave enough to come talk with me and like possibly 2 other strangers, it's like, hey, right? I mean, it's working well. This is, I only know one other person here, and it's like, this is pretty cool. So if I can do this for other people and help them build their network in a nice little micro way, a little bit every day, it's like, it's pretty cool. I think the future is building networks and relationships at scale. So that's the direction I'm going to go. And it's fun. That sounds kind of self-serving, but I don't care. I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. So I'm just going to keep doing more of the thing that I'm enjoying doing, right? Is that bad?
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. What are you
Can
talking
we
about? What I
can we
love about
spin that? Can we spin that into like a philanthropic, altruistic, yeah, I'm just having fun.
Yes, absolutely. What I love about it, it's so interesting because we're actually masterminding on a live podcast about it's happening instantly. And this is basically how it works when you go into these communities and you just have conversations about what you love, what you do, what you're an expert in, what you can share with, how you can connect. It just goes on, and sky's the limit. So we're going to take a quick break, listen from our sponsor, and then we'll get our last few comments from you guys, and we will wrap it up. Give me 1 second.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JASCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
Welcome back. We are here with Bridget, Michael, and Kelly. Tell us real quick, where are you located, Bridget?
I am located in upstate New York in the beautiful city of Rochester.
Awesome. Kelly?
I am in central Pennsylvania, Selinsgrove.
Michael?
I am in eastern Missouri, middle. I'm in St. Louis. I'm like, everybody's giving directionality, and I'm like, what do I do with this? Central, bang, St. Louis, the center of the continental U.S.
Well, I am in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and not too far from Kelly, but it's so awesome how we can just get into this space where people are all over the world. We are in communities that have people overseas, Canada being a huge one, Africa, we have Italy, and so on and so forth. And it is just so awesome how we can all take advantage of just being in the moment when we're in these different groups and we're on these different projects and we are just connecting and creating. So I just want your thoughts about, for our audience, what would you tell them if they're in a space where they're just not ready to take action? What would you tell them they should do, like some steps? Like, what is the first step on your mind that you think that they should do? So we'll start with you, Bridget.
I love that. It's okay not to be ready. And I think when you're not ready, one of the greatest things you can do is just pour into yourself. Take care of yourself. Figure out what you need to get you feeling strong and independent. And for me, that was just a whole lot of listening to podcasts, journaling, doing daily meditation, and waiting for the nudge. You'll know when you're ready. You'll get the nudge to move in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for that. Kelly?
I love that, Bridget. So mine would be some of the same. But adding to it is just taking that quiet time in the morning and just listening for what comes to you, what brings you joy, and journaling about it so that you have it written down. I have a tendency to have things come to my brain and then later think, I had a good thought. What was it? So journaling about, what is important. And I do daily devotions as well, so that what is coming to me is also from God and from, what he's putting in me.
That's awesome. That I love that. I actually get up at 3:00 in the morning with some of those great ideas, right? And you're like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm in bed. I want to go back to sleep. Like, can I read? So I have like notebooks in my room, and if I need light, I have to go to the restroom and I have to turn on the light. So I have a notebook there to kind of put things together, because I've done speeches in my sleep and I'm like, oh my God, that was so good. Am I going to remember everything? And sometimes I don't get up to write it down. So things happen organically. I try not to over prepare, because then you can kind of lose that authenticity that you really want to put out there. So there's different ways, depending how disciplined you are, to really take your expertise and your word and your vision and be able to articulate that. So if you have to prepare, sometimes things happen organically. What I choose to do is really pray before I do anything. So I wasn't ready before this podcast. I just knew I was going to celebrate all my people as soon as they got on, and it just happens organically because you guys are just amazing. Michael, what are your thoughts?
Oh my goodness. If you had asked me this 3 years ago, I would have had a wildly different answer, and I'm glad. The times in my life where I've gotten ready to embark on something and it's like, I don't really feel like I'm ready. There's a flavor to that where it's like, this is just my body just putting up a defense mechanism, like, oh, he's getting ready to do something new. Quick, make him freak out. And it's like, well, I've learned to kind of ignore that and actually turn it into fuel to do the thing that I'm kind of scared to do. But there's also a flavor of it that comes from, I don't have all the information. I'm not ready because this would be unwise. There's some info lacking. And it's like, okay, what is it that I need to know in order to make an informed decision? I can either try to figure that out and analyze my way through it. That's one strategy. But the other strategy is, well, I'm going to take massive action in some other way, right? Like just go nuts and just, and it's like, well, sometimes that motion in a totally different direction, like unsticks me and gives me the momentum where then I can kind of, pivot and say, well, now we're going this direction. We're going to do the thing that we were kind of stuck on before. My father-in-law years ago, I was asking him, I said, I don't know what God's will is for me. I'm not sure what he wants me to do. And he said, the most profound thing he's ever said, he goes, well, you can't steer a parked car. And I'm like, what kind of fortune cookie, Snapple cap kind of wisdom is this, right? But it stuck with me. And it was hilarious too, because years ago we were talking and he said to me sort of the same thing. And I said, well, there was somebody years ago that told me something, and it was really profound. He told me, he said, well, you can't steer a parked car. And he goes, that's pretty good. I said, you like that? He goes, yeah. I said, you said that to me. And he's like, what? I said, that's the most profound thing you've ever said, and you don't remember it? He's like, I'm getting old. I'm like, you're killing me, Smalls. But it's that kind of thing where if you take massive action in some different direction, it gives you more energy to get unstuck in the thing that you're like, I don't think I'm ready. Well, do something else. Have fun.
That's just as good as it gets. I love it. You have me dying over here, like my cheeks are burning. It's so hilarious, but it's so true. These are things that we hear over and over again in events, at masterminds, at just when we're in just general conversation, and we know that we have the goods, the tools, we know what we have to do, but what gives us that push to do it? And what I do want to leave you guys with an assignment here is that I just got 4 people on that are in separate communities that didn't know each other until today, because this was the day that they chose, and it was not by accident. It was obviously for a reason. So I would love for you guys to definitely connect with each other, get on each other's podcasts, share your vision, see how we can grow together. And that's what Empower to Inspire does. That's what BALM Global does. And I just want to share one more quick video before we leave. This is just a sneak peek at the event that we had May 20th, and we're about to take it on tour for 2024. And we are looking to lock arms with as many people as we can to jump on this mission with me, because it truly is a movement, and it's all about, again, same as the podcast is going on tour, Ladies of Leadership. So just a little sneak peek at what happened on May 20th. That was Empower to Inspire. We're looking to make many, many more memories like that. I think the most highlight of looking at that video and watching it over and over is just a smile on my mom's face. She was absolutely the talk of the party, the talk of the day. Just to be able to see, be able to share that family ship with people that has made an impact in my life, and vice versa. And when you ask God for community that you can serve and can serve you back, boy, does he deliver. And I am just super excited to know each and every one of you, to again have been in your presence, and whatever God has for us in the future. So I want to continue building these relationships, and I just want to personally thank you again for believing in everything that I do and what BALM Global is doing for the world. So I just, one last question before we close out. I'm just truly interested in, what was your word for the year, and have you been successfully hitting that target each and every day? Bridget, we're going to start with you.
Oh my gosh. So my word for 2023 was abundance. And it's so funny because I said it and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what this brings. And then holy cow, it was like getting sprayed in the face with a fire hose of abundance. So yeah, I mean, I'll take it, like more. I'll take more. It was great. It's been great. And it's going to continue being great. But I had no idea what setting that intention was going to be like, and how holding it was just going to be like, I'm just going to catch every little bit of this that I can possibly catch and be so grateful and just let it unfold in front of me. Like, how cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Great word. Definitely great word. That would have been my word for last year, which was community. And I felt like it was just poured all over me. So I totally get it. And I never did a word before this year, and I'll share mine in a bit. But Kelly.
Mine was growth. And, I think sometimes you don't always check back on it. So be careful when you put growth out there, is sometimes it might take some pruning too, which is a little bit painful.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. That's so true. You have to see both sides of it, right? Sometimes it could be too much. Sometimes it could be too little. Sometimes it could go fast. Sometimes it could go slow, but you have to be ready for all of it. So awesome word. And Michael.
Oh, my favorite word in 2023 is actually the same word from last year. The word is sonder. Sonder. Does anybody know what that word means?
No. Enlighten us,
Yeah.
please.
All right. It's great. I can tell you whatever. You're going to believe me. Sonder is a very special word. It's the realization you have when you look at people around you and you realize they have just as deep and crazy and happy and sad and exciting of a life as you have. And I mean, our brains are limited, but too often we kind of look at life and we treat everybody else as extras in a movie where we're the star. And it's like, nothing can be further from the truth. Everybody is a star in their own movie, in their own life, right? So that word sonder really helps me remember that everybody is not just three-dimensional, but multidimensional. We've all got hundreds of facets that make up who we are. And if you take the time to really get to know somebody deeply, it's like, yo, there is a complete person here. And it's like, I know, right? We're all complete people. So that word just really, I thought I'd have a new word this year, but it's like, no, still Sonder. I may never change it. And it's helping me build some deep relationships. Just that word alone.
That's
The
awesome.
wonder
That
of
could be a life
Sonder.
word. That could
Could
be a
be.
life word. Yeah, absolutely. But then we got to get a yearly word. I don't know who came up with this stuff. I just know that last year, getting into this entrepreneurial space and getting into these networking groups, they asked, like, what's your word for the year? And I'm like, well, I don't know. So in 2022, I didn't have a word. So at the end of it, when I started thinking about what my word was going to be for 2023, I said, okay, well, if 2022 had to have a word, it would be transformation. I think that's where everything really transformed and really fell into place. And then intentionally, I came into 2023 with the word impact. And that is what I will continue to do. I don't know if I would use it for next year as well, because I think there's other powerful words and other spaces I want to get into. But I just love that that's an idea that you can just focus your everyday with that intention, and you have a clear vision of how to tackle your day. And I think I put something out today. I was in New York and I took a picture of a sunset, and I think I put a post that said, win the day before the sun sets. Definitely took that picture, put it on my screensaver, because that's what I want to do. I want to make sure that I win the day every way I can as I'm impacting people each and every day through either my podcast, through my coaching, through my community groups. And again, I'm just super in awe of all of you. Thank you guys so much for sticking it out with me for this hour. It's just been awesome celebrating each and every one of you. Can't wait till we connect again. Thank you all for listening to another podcast of Building a Leadership Mindset. Have a great day. And as I always say, make it count.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.